Casey starts off this hour in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hi, Casey. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I have a really weird question for you.
Mm-hmm.
His family has been asking for our financial information. They want to know what our utilities are, how much we're spending on everything, and who is paying what. So I am from a family where you don't share those things outside of your immediate household. So my question is, should we be giving them this information, or should we be holding the barrier and like the wall that we are, saying that this is our information and, you know, it's not really any of their concern. We're not in any kind of financial need.
Yeah. Okay, and so you're married.
We are not married. I told him he could not propose until I finished grad school, and I finished in about 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a kind of another thing of whether or not that answer changes once we are married.
Yeah. Well, it does, because then it's a different situation. Because there's not a we now.
Yeah, I mean, all of our bills are in our own individual
You have a
name.
roommate, and your roommate's mother is going over the line.
Yes.
That's different than your husband's mother is going over the line. For me, it is. And I think relationally it is. Either way that she's going over the line, what is their motivation in being so blame nosy?
Honestly, it's his sister.
His sister? Why does his sister want to know his stuff?
She, for whatever reason, does not care for me, and that's been well known. We go through points where we're fine, and then other times where she doesn't. But we are taking a trip as a family to Disney this fall, and his sister spent $12,000. And I said that we would only go if we could do it our way, and we are only spending about $1,500 instead of $12,000. So she's really upset right now that I'm refusing to do everything that she wanted to do and taking on extra debt because I was only willing to go if I had time to save up the money. And our $1,500 covers our whole little unit.
And how old are you guys?
33 and 34.
And how old is sister?
39.
Okay. Well, here's the problem. There's more going on here. This is not about money. This is about your roommate's future fiance, maybe future husband's sister's relationship with you. That's what this whole thing's about. And let me just tell you who solves that. It's not you.
Okay.
This is just an old man talking. I'm not a family therapist. Okay?
No, I know.
This is not, it's because it's not a money thing. But you trying to solve this with her is going nowhere. Agreed?
I do agree.
Yeah. Him sitting down with her and going, hey, sis, back off!
He did, and his whole family's not speaking to either of us now.
Well, there you go. Okay.
So we weren't sure if we just disclose all of this information, if it would fix it, or if it's just going to put it into a situation where
when people violate boundaries, and you say, no, I'm going to have a boundary, and then they say, oh, the only way we're going to have a relationship with you is if we can tell you what to do in your life, we're going to violate boundaries. That is not a relationship. That's a controlling, manipulative bunch of jerks. I think there's more going on here, though. That's outside my realm of expertise. So I don't know exactly how to address this. But caving to people who demand that they can violate your boundaries is not the way you solve a relational issue. Okay? But I don't think this has anything to do with Disney, and I don't think this has anything to do with your light bill. I think it has to do with y'all living together, and his family doesn't like that, and they don't like you shacking up with their son, and it's talked about all the time, and they don't like your stance on anything, and that's what's going on, and it's being reflected in these other things that are symptomatic. So you've got a much bigger problem than that, and so I think you sit down with a marriage counselor and get some pre-marriage counseling because you have a real problem in one of the 4 areas that causes marriages to end, and that's in-laws. It is one of the 4 areas. Like money fights, in-law fights, fights over kids, and fights over religion. And when you are unequal on any of those 4 things, you cannot come up with a solid way to handle this on any of those 4 things, then your marriage is going to struggle. Your relationship's not going to last. So you need to see a good marriage counselor to help you with that. And you ask me, and I don't think you can solve this by giving them the information. That's absurd. It's absurd they asked for it in the first place. It's absurd they're angry because they don't want they want you to spend and do everything that you can afford to do. That's not an act of love. That's an act of control and manipulation by them. But none of those are the problem. They're all symptoms of a bigger problem that's a relational breakdown between you and his family. And that's what you're going to have to get into that I'm not qualified to deal with, nor do I care to.